Hello viewer, in this video session I am going to cover macro for changing the number format, changing the cell color and changing the range border. So I'll be showing you how to write a macro to change the number format, to change the color and to place the border on the cell. To get started with, just go to the developer menu. From there click on Visual Basic Editor and we are placed into the Visual Basic Editor now. Just double click on sheet 1. Now we'll be writing a code here. As you are aware, to start with any macro we need to write subroutine. To start with, sub, and we will give some name. In this case I am giving set number format. Now I'll be writing a code to change the cell A5 as normal, that is general, and to change the entire row 1's number format as time format in the format of HHMMSS, and for column C the number format will be 1000 separator with $sign. For negative value the number will be displayed in red with 1000 separator and $sign placed with. To write this, I'll be writing worksheet sheet 1 dot range B5 dot number format equals to general. Again, for entire row 1 we'll be writing the syntax like rows and index number. Index number is nothing but the row number dot number format equals to HH colon MM colon SS. Now for changing the number format of entire column C, code will be column name, then number format equals to hash comma hash has 0.2 decimal place underscore bracket close semicolon dollar hash comma hash has 0.2 decimal place and close it with double quote. Now our macro is ready for changing the number format of cell B5 as general and number format of entire row 1 as HHMMSS in time format, and changing the number format of column C as 1000 separator with $sign, for negative number 1000 separator with $sign and red color. Now we will execute this macro. For executing it, just go back to the Excel workbook. Before running this macro we will be placing some values so that we can see the impact of the macro. Just put the value in cell B5 1 2 3 4 5 and in cell A1, that is for row 1, anywhere in any cell. So I'll be placing here 13, and then in column C anywhere, because the entire column C's format has been changed to the number format. So I'll be putting here 12,500 and then negative 12,500. Now we will run our macro and see how the macro changes the number format of the defined cells, columns and rows. Just click on macro button. We are placed into the list of macros. In this case only one macro is there, set number format. Just run it and see the effect. Row 1 having value in D1 is changed to the time format, and C2 and C3 are changed into the number format we assign into the macro, and B5 remains same as it is in normal format, that is in general format. So this way we can write a code to change the number format. Now we will see how to change the color of the cell. For that, go back to the Visual Basic Editor. Here we will write one more subroutine to change the color of cell. Sub set color. Now here we will be writing a macro to change the color of the cell. Sheet 1 dot range will be changing the B10 cell B10 color as cyan. So I'll be entering the cell B10, then interior dot color index equals to 8. 8 is for cyan color. Now our macro is ready for changing the cell color. Now we will run this macro to see how our macro changes the color of cell B10. Just go back to the Excel workbook and run the macro. As you can see, there are the list of macro. So we will be running set color macro to change the cell color of B10. Now you can see the background of the cell B10 is changed to the color cyan. So this way we can write a macro to change the background color of the cell. Now we'll be seeing how to place the borders into the cell. For that, go back to the Visual Basic Editor, and here we will be writing one more subroutine to place the borders onto the cell. Set sub place borders. Now for writing a code to place a border, I'll be explaining one more thing. Excel has provided one option width and width. That means using width we can use various properties of the objects just by placing dot before the property. I'll show you how. So to write a code for placing a border into the cell, I'll be writing a code with worksheets sheet 1 dot range B2 dot borders control spacebar. Now we can see Excel edge bottom, Excel edge left, Excel edge right, Excel edge top. So these are the attributes of the borders, as cell is having top, left, right and bottom. So we will be setting the borders from left, right, top, bottom. So in this case I will be setting the border of the bottom as red. So I will be selecting bottom. Now this is the line we are using with width, and the other properties of borders are dot line style, that is whether the line is thick or whether the line is in continuous form or it should be in dotted format. For that we will be directing this macro to put a line as Excel continuous. So I will be just placing the style of the line with the period sign before the property. Line style equals to Excel. Just press Ctrl spacebar and you will get the list of attributes. Here we need to use continuous. Now we'll be using the another property, that is the weight. That is whether the border line should be thick or thin. So for that, just place a period before the property equals to Excel thin. So this is the attribute for weight property. Now we'll be setting the color of the border. So to use the color property, just place the period sign before the color index equals to 3, and then to end this, just end with. So this way we have written a code, written a macro to place a border in cell B2. Now we will test our macro, how it works for us. Just go back to the Excel workbook and run the macro to see the effect of the macro. Just go to the macro button, click on it, you will get the list of macros displayed into the window. Just select the place border macro and run it. Now you can see in cell B2 the border is placed on the bottom of the cell with red color. So this way we can write a code, write a macro to place a border into the cell or into the range. In next session I'll be covering more on macros, objects of the worksheet, etc. Thank you.